Hey everybody, this is for Kyocera or Copystar 5002Y. We are going to go into the document feeder and replace the document feed belt. So this belt, it'll cause problems like jamming. Sometimes it'll also be squeaking, but this feed belt right here is located right underneath this plate and on a shaft. So we'll go ahead and change that out. 2 screws in the top. This panel comes off, and then once you got that panel off, you're going to take off this one clip in the front and then one more clip in the back. We're going to slide this bushing forward just a little bit just to get it out of its slot, and then we're going to take the whole unit up, slide it forward until you take it out of the this coupler here, put that on the side, and then we're going to slide the whole unit towards the rear of the machine, and it comes out as an assembly like this. So you'll notice that the document feed belt, when it gets old, it gets really shiny. You can kind of see a shine to it. The newer one has more of a dull matte look. So we're going to change this belt, and then all these little dust bunnies that collects, we're going to clean all that out of the bushings. So first thing is we are going to turn it this way. We're going to take off this one clip on the side here. Put that down. And then we're going to slide the shaft to the left until this belt here, you can slide this belt off of the gear. So the belt should be resting right on the shaft itself. That'll give a little bit more slack, and you can go ahead and unhook the pulley. And then I like to take this belt off just to give it more slack, so it's kind of loose like that, and you can actually take the whole belt off. Put that belt on the side. So now you have this bushings here. If you slide this bushing out just a little bit, this one to the right, you'll notice that you can turn the bushing and slide it out of its pocket right there. And then on the same end, this side, turn the bushing just a little bit so it slides out of the bottom half of the take-up assembly. We'll put this assembly on the side. Now we're just working with the feed belt assembly. We're going to slide off this bushing, put that on the side. Slide off this whole assembly as a whole piece. Grab the whole thing, slide it all the way off. Make sure you hold on to the feed belt drive pulley in the middle, and then this, we can put this shaft on the side here. And so now you're left with this feed belt assembly. There's a little one-way bearing in here that is indicated by the blue part of the pulley. I'm going to slide this out, and we're just remembering that that blue side goes on the left hand side as we look at the feed belt assembly like this, because if you put it in backwards, it will not work. You need to put it back the exact same way you put it in. So I'm going to put this on the side here. Now we have this feed belt assembly. From here, sometimes you'll notice this little white pulley is like caked up with debris. I just run my fingernail over this pulley and just kind of scrape it off, and that should be fine. Once that pulley is clean, I can start disassembling this feed belt roller. So I'm going to take off this one white connector here, put it down, and then we can push this shaft to the left, and the shaft comes out here on this side. And I kind of hold the pulley down because it will fall out of its place if you're not careful. So I'm going to pull the shaft all the way out, put this down, and then this pulley, be very careful because these golden bushings, brass bushings, will slip out of its slot. So I like to tuck them in and then pull this out just like that. So now we're going to reverse the procedure. I'll put this down on the side. That's the old belt. Grab the new belt. I just hold it right in place again and reverse the procedure. Tuck this belt around the pulley. Put the shaft back in. No, I'm not going to put it. You know what, I'm just gonna put this on the side. I forgot to clean this with all the dust bunnies. So I usually take a brush and just dust this off. So it's nice and kind of dust free for the most part. And then I grab the, you can see the bushings popping out, so I tuck it back in. Just switch hands here. So I slide this back in, hold it in place, grab the shaft, push it back in. You'll notice that this has a flat spot on the edge, and that flat spot is going to be keyed into this side of the feed assembly. So we tuck this in, thread it through the pulley, and then you'll notice on this end, as it's coming through, you're going to have to turn the shaft until it fits just like a puzzle. Let's see, there we go. So once it comes through, C-clip back on. Now you got this. You might want to, I'm working backwards here, but you might want to clean this pulley if it's got all kind of debris on it. This is what pulls the belt. Actually, what it doesn't pull the belt. This is not dry, but it's good, just good to keep the surface of this white roller clean. All right, reversing the procedure, we're going to go back with the one-way bearing. With the one-way bearing, most cases I like to clean it with alcohol. So in order to clean it with alcohol, I get some, you can use isopropyl rubbing alcohol, or I like to use anhydrous alcohol. Get a little bit of alcohol on a Q-tip, and on the needle nose bearing side, I just clean it out. You'll notice that the cotton swab gets a little dirty, and when it's got too much gunk and oil, it can cause it to slip. I'll just clean the other side as well. Then do a little bit on the shaft where the needle nose bearing rides. You'll notice there's going to be a little black mark right where the needle nose bearing sits on the shaft. I clean that off as well with alcohol, just to get it nice and clean. All right, so we got the assembly here, and it was this way that the needle nose bearing on the blue side of the pulley goes in this way. So we're going to put this back in here. Then I believe the shaft is next. No, we tuck it back into this assembly here. So we put this assembly back in to its pocket like this. It's going to be loose. Just hold it in place and then thread the shaft into the feed pulley all the way through. Before we go all the way in, we're going to put the belt back on. We're going to let the belt ride on the shaft just to give it much slack so we can thread it around the other gears. From here, we're going to put in this white bushing. We're going to put it over the plastic feed assembly, and let it slip into place. And then we're going to, as I'm pushing this shaft to the right, I'm going to put the belt on to the gear by turning the shaft, thread this belt back in onto its idle pulley. All right, now it should look like that. See you can see the belt turning. Okay, from here we're going to put on this next bushing on this side and slide it in. And we're going to put the C-clip back on. If you can't see the groove in the shaft, something is not right, and you're going to have to kind of puzzle everything back in so that it's flush. Which I'm missing this part here. It's not in the the bushing is out of its slot, so I'm going to push that in. Now I can see the groove on this side where the C-clip will secure everything in place. All right, looks like that's it. So if I turn this counterclockwise, it should look like this. Now if I turn it clockwise, the feed assembly should drop down, grab the paper, and it should pull the paper. See that? And if I keep turning, that's how it should look and operate. Okay. All right, since I got the assembly together, I am gonna thread this back into the front. Into that front bushing. There we go. And then the back bushing, I'm gonna move that back bushing forward just a little bit. Just enough so I can slip the shaft in and put the bushing back. Oh, I did forget the coupler, so I'm gonna put the coupler back in. Coupler back in. Flat spot on the top of the bushing. There we go. I'm going to slide this whole thing towards the coupler so that it locks in. And now the coupler is not fully engaged, so I'm going to grab the feed belt and pull the feed belt forward, and you can see that the shaft is turning, and then it should engage there. So now everything's in. I want to look for the groove here to put the C-clip here and a groove here into the shaft so the C-clips will fit right into place, securing the feed shaft. So I'll put the feed shaft here, the feed, secure the feed shaft here with the C-clip, same for the front. There we go. Feed assembly in. I'll kind of check it out. The feed roller should spin one way, which is forward. Forward should spin. When I come back, it shouldn't spin. Forward, forward. So that's how you can tell it's installed correctly. So does the take-up roller. If I push it forward, it should freewheel, and then if I pull it back, it won't turn. So that's how you can tell that it's in there properly. So that's the feed belt replacement on the Kyoceras, and this goes for a lot of different models. Pretty much works the same way. Feed belt on the Kyocera and Copystar devices. Thanks for watching.